line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
For the final time this season, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here to Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona, as we are now one last race away from crowning ourselves a champion. 7 drivers coming onto the track today for 150 laps at Phoenix Raceway in these Gen 4 Cup cars. This will be a long, long road for everyone to fight off from. Hi everyone, we are live on Pete Sim Racing TV today, presented by our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing. Be sure to visit up SixSigmaSimRacing.com for more information on their latest products and their Moza and Sim Magic dealers on the market. Starting this one out, Ailton Norgard will be on the pole in the 12, the outside in the 43, William White. Run number 2 will be the 777 of Kerry Brooks, the outside in the 21, Corey Abbott. And row number 3, it'll be Austin Lauer in the 14, the outside in the 20, Andrew Hardcastle. Our final starter today in the 41's Brian Beeman. A lineup of the heavy runners and heavy throwers. This is going to be one long road ahead for these drivers here. Who's going to come out on top and who can manage the gas pedal and manage the speeds. Power uninitiated down through turn number 3 and 4. Lock and load the gears, send them down through into the green flag. Let's roll it out. One last race, championship on the line. Aelitz and Norgard, William White, probably the two favorites in this one for that one. Norgard last week finally getting off that hump, if you will, and finally get himself into victory lane. William White got his win the very first race of the season after 3 full seasons of hunting and praying. And now, one last head-to-head. Coming back for the game plans right now. Norgard and White still hard on the charge here. Meanwhile, back in the rounds on the packs down. Corey Abbott, Austin Louder going at it head to head. Ryan Beeman and Andrew Harkatz also having a little bit of a throwdown. Good little side-by-side connections here for our drivers. Rolling off for the distance into the turns. Every driver wanting to get a piece and see what they can do. Gary Brooks, Norgard, and White, top 3 here. Brooks trying to get one win on the oval side of things. Only got himself on the road course here, and get his end of the bargain. A bit of a wild ride here for what that taste is. A little onboard camera right now as we go aboard with Corey Abbott at the 21 here. Trying to get one last little run in for this race in this kind of track style. This is definitely probably his least favorite kind of racing because it's going to be really more focused on tire wear and pursuit. We saw what happened at Charlotte Motor Speedway where he thought he had that dialed in just right. But William White, who in my opinion is the favorite here, knows how to be patient and wait it out, and he sticks it out there and just lets that car reel it up. Man, he'll be really taking full control of it. Norgard still looking carefully at White's corner panels and the rear bumper, maybe looking to kind of pursue the 43 a little bit, maybe kind of keep him on his toes, but not try to overly aggressive. Yeah, not get overly aggressive here. The aggression levels certainly, though, are harder to control than you may think. Brooks just watching on from behind right now. The 777 still really just kind of keeping his paces here and keeping himself up to par. Austin Louder, good to see him back from Pedal Motor Racing League side of things. Had a great showing when he was out there running around on the track there for quite a bit, but unfortunately wasn't quite able to get himself into victory lane that Sunday night in Talladega. But he'll have another chance at Las Vegas for clarification, not Old Atlanta. That was a mistake on my behalf. I apologize in advance to the league for mistaking the schedule. So this Sunday we will be down in Las Vegas for our next showcase of the racing series. Brooks, Abbott looking back right behind right now. Louder, Beeman, and Hardcastle all doing their own little thing. Andrew Hardcastle definitely a little bit more on the control side of things, if you ask me. I'm kind of surprised that the 20 is driving as smooth as he is and just kind of staying out of troublematic zones here. Norgard and White, still your top two. Norgard punching back behind right now. White trying to keep his ground up, trying to keep the level out on the speeds. Either driver giving an inch here to the other, but Norgard knows that if White continues to dictate the pace, it will just shred at his bottom line. He does not need that right now. He needs to stay right on his back bumper and keep him under pressure so that it forces him to drive a little bit harder and maybe a little bit more all over the place in terms of giving him a chance to maybe make a pass later. Because passing here, well, it's a hard bargain for yourselves, and it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. Pumping down around the inside lane. You can see Norgard slowly but surely trying to catch up a little bit there to White. 150 laps the distance, so I mean, you guys got to think for 1 second that that's going to be a lot harder on these cars more than anything, and it's going to obviously be a bit of a kind of a stretch shoot kind of move in here. You see a lot of drivers trying out of the gate to get the overarching power and the overarching momentum ahead of the other driver, and with a short field like this too, it actually makes it even more difficult to find openings and chances to pass, because really you don't have much to work off from and you don't have much to go with. I think that's what makes it so interesting, is that you got two even kind of playing fields. but you have such a harder run of a track to kind of master and pinpoint too. And that dog leg, actually, in my opinion, makes it a lot worse for the Gen 4 Cup cars, because the thing is, they are much higher off the ground than some of the other cars. So that means once they travel on the lower end, their bounce back actually kind of sends them up a little bit and gets them into some serious trouble. So you're seeing a lot of drivers kind of getting a little bit tip-top and a little wobbly. That's a big reason why there. Take a look at lap times right now here as you see the gaps constantly changing, constantly getting harder and harder to gravitate from. And you can see William White right now. You can see he didn't lose much time on lap 20, if any. And now the times he's been getting back from Norgard. I said earlier, and I'll say it again, I thought honestly he'd be the favorite in this race. Hard drive coming from the natural light, number 41, Brian Beeman going head-to-head here with Austin Lauder. Now Austin, again, I've talked about him before in many segments here, in many races, but I always said that he is probably the most track-specific kind of driver in terms of what he can use and what he does. He's extremely good on certain tracks, and then there's times he just can't seem to quite put it together, and the track ends up kind of eating him alive a bit. The more we go and the further it comes along, I think it could be interesting to see where that kind of takes us to. Get a little of that onboard camera here with Beeman there. You see him just still patrolling and pursuing. Corey Abbott, the number 21 machine right now, still up ahead of the brackets here. Brooks couldn't quite keep him back, at least, and at the moment right now, making it work quite well. Half a second right now, starting to change up as well for Norgard and White. White looks to me like he's playing a little bit more on this conservative side, whereas Norgard seems to be kind of falling back and then getting back on the gas pedal when he thinks he went too far back. I'll say this about Phoenix Raceway here, guys. The last time I really had success here it's probably back on the NASCAR Heat 5 of things, but the one thing I do remember that helped me out, I even have used a little bit on iRacing, this track specific, is the control of consistency. If you're consistently hitting the corners up and you're consistently turning the car in and on the gas pedal at the right time, the tires will inevitably only burn up so much and burn out so fast. It becomes more of a battle of attrition and overall pace, which doesn't exactly make it for the best race, so you can tell guys. But to me, what makes it more fun and unique is the fact that you can actually put two and two together, and when the time it hits, just in the nick of time, you'll see really where laying out that long came into play. All about pit strategy, pit stops, and the cycles that go with it. Do you try to go out as long as you can, or do you try and maybe play a little bit more safe? A little on board with Andrew Hardcastle right now, and you can see together the gaps and the distance these drivers are taking each other to. I thought also earlier Hardcastle would be a little bit more the kind of hanging it back kind of side of things, but right now I think he may be hanging it back too much. He seems like he's got a bit of a problem right now, and that problem is not allowing him to get the speed up to par, get the car into the momentum he needs. If he wants any chance to survive this race, he's going to need to build up a little bit, because right now William White is really catching him up, and if he puts him a lap down, even if Hardcastle stayed out a lap, it doesn't make much of a difference. We are about 1/5 of the way done now. And already Aelitz and Norgard going into pit road. We'll see about his tire strategy here. I'm kind of curious to see what this one's going to do for him. Let's see what he does here. See if he takes tires or if he just goes for fuel. Looks like right side's going on. Will he throw the left sides on too? Yes, he does. Left side's going on. So the number 12 Norgard, full fuel and tires for the number 12. I'm honestly kind of surprised though he went this early with that tire strategy. I would have thought maybe he can be able to make it last a little longer out there and just keep the fuel run up. Not so sure I really agree with the premises and the idea of it. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta kind of make use of what your pace is and what you gotta bring to the track. That could be the difference maker in these races, and he knows it too. Get a good look and see what these drivers are strapped into and what they are pulling off from the track side and everything around. They are buckled in, they are sitting straight down and really just feeling all that engine weight and power behind, and then trying to keep the front of the nose relatively in check. You want to talk about wild moments too, man. We got to go back to what we saw in the Croat Racing League Truck Series a couple of Tuesday nights ago. The shocking conclusion that every driver just getting into a madhouse of a wreck, but the leader, Anthony M. Calatoni, literally losing it off of turn number 3 and 4 as we were just catching on to it, spun in just about 200 feet away from championship glory before the reign of terror himself, Tyler Dalton, just snuck right on by him and secured a championship win. Hard to believe he was not able to get back that one or really be able to take it to the limit. And he knew as more than anything, he was just absolutely frustrated with himself and couldn't believe he gave it up. But yet, in this day and age, races like that can be a difference maker. They can either make your career or they can change your career, depending on your trajectory and what you want to do. I think, though, that Phoenix has the ability and the possibility to really end up with some really wild finishes, some wild runs. All of that hinders on whether or not can you survive the track, and can you survive the glaring heats and the pressure here. And talk about heat, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm living in Iowa right now, right? And right now in Iowa, the humidity is so bad, so just incredibly tough on us right now, that it was a lot harder than it looks to get out of bed without being in a soaking hot sweat today, man. That heat and everything was so unbearably bad. It was, wow, I don't even know how to put into words. We get a little pass here from Norgard getting his lap back from Abbott. Still got to get to William White, though, to get that lap fully back from him. But yeah, just think about that for a second. They're in Avondale right now, Arizona. I'm up in the Midwest. You imagine how hot it must be right now inside those cars in that cockpit? I wouldn't even want to begin to think what that must feel like and what kind of pressure they're even taking inside that car. If I had to guess, they're probably having a hard time even breathing, let alone driving. William White looks like, I think, honestly, the way I'm looking at this, I think he's going to try to go the full 50 laps the distance and put pressure on the number 12 of Norgard to have to kind of match him. Bit of a risky move, but it is a strategy nevertheless. We're on board again with the DeWalt 14. And Hardcastle hasn't really been able to leave his spot since he kind of got onto the track and got onto the surface here. I don't know, again, if maybe that was just overall the way the car was feeling, or maybe he just wasn't quite up to the task of taking on this track. Either way, this is not
the usual thing we come to see and know from him. And Louder, same thing kind of really for him. But I have said before that he is very track sensitive. Whereas some tracks you just know he's going to be a factor, and then he's going to be absolutely a menace down there. And then there's others. He's just unfortunately getting in his own way, it seems. Well, here comes Norgard right now, coming from the back, traveling up to the front. And that speed and duration is starting to work a little bit to his name. Gonna rip it up on the outside. And he's gonna let White know he's coming for him. But White, honestly, I think is probably getting the last lap out of it. You think about it, Norgard's gonna have to go in a little bit later. And he's going to have to go in as well at least one more time, considering his tempo and his strategy, unless he's hoping for a break here. But William White, just absolutely pure domination right now. Well, let's go on board for a lap here with old White and see why he's being so successful here. And I think right now the reason why he's so successful is, quite frankly, he's just narrowing down his target. He's only getting in the gas and off the gas when he absolutely has to, and he is currently just fighting every bit of that car and every bit of that speed from each corner to each run and each drive that he is bringing to the table. Seemed like he might have been having a little bit of an issue kind of getting the car to settle down there off the dog leg there. That dog leg is really the corner before the turn one end there. You can even hear it too in Hardcastle, like he's having to roll the corner rather than just kind of break the corner down. William White now heading to pit road as well. And we already know that he's going to probably take all 4 tires and fuel, considering what Norgard did earlier. So Corey Abbott, your new leader. Kerry Brooks going to now be into the second spot, and Brian Beeman holding us up in the 3rd lane. Brian Beeman now going to head to pit road, so Kerry Brooks also in there. So now just Abbott and Louder and Hardcastle staying out. William White definitely tried to pull a very interesting strategy there. Didn't go in until lap number 48 there. But I don't think that's necessarily going to be enough time to keep him in this race. I think maybe he was kind of expecting to go a little bit longer than maybe Norgard or whatever the strategy may be. I'm looking at laps and they're just not quite adding up. Abbott obviously staying out the longest of any of these guys. Seems to be kind of pushing up a bit here on what he's looking to do. Abbott right now your leader. Hardcastle about 13 seconds back of Abbott here. But still maybe looking to make a break for it. Maybe make something out of it. Norgard, though, catching quite quickly here. William White right on that loud pedal right now. Down to get up there to Corey Abbott. Landed C43, trying to chase down a championship season again. Norgard looking to kind of wrap his championship hopes up and hope for something out of it. Corey Abbott always looking to bring the best out of his equipment and get himself championship implications, but that 43 of William White, man, I don't think anybody was expecting him to all of a sudden break out this season. They were expecting maybe a lot sooner by then. Corey Abbott now to pit road. He's lasted out long enough, he says. Yeah, it's interesting to me, though, he went as long as he did if he knew he had to pit in at least twice in this race. I think maybe he was trying to see if he can go a little bit longer, maybe go a little bit more of a distance. So that way he can just run it a lot harder later on, but I'm not really sure I agree with that strategy all that much. Take a look at our lap time counter here. Norgard to Abbott. Or Norgard to White, I should say now. Yep. That's what we wanted to see. And you can see here, tenths of a second. Almost complete. 8/10, almost complete seconds here. It's making the difference up. So now with Beeman Louder in pit road, Andrew Hardcastle for the first time this season is going to get himself a taste of a lead's position. Yeah, I gotta love it when just seeing some of these drivers come out and try to make use of what they've got and really make use of what they can show. Hardcastle, I think honestly right now, probably trying to play a strategy that I don't think anyone else has been trying to think about doing. It's a very elongated strategy and a very tough little road. But it seems as though it is working, as of right now anyway. Brian Beeman right now kind of getting trapped up there with Louder once more as Louder tries to get his 6th position back away. Andrew Hardcastle in the way as well, though, so that's getting a little interesting. Just about halfway done with this race. And so far we've had, I believe, 5 or 6, actually I take it back, yeah, I think everyone except for Austin Louder and Brian Beeman has had has a little taste of the race lead. And Beeman moving it ahead. Louder right behind him. Hardcastle trying to stay out of the way. Doesn't want nothing to do with lap traffic. Smart thinking on his behalf. Don't worry about getting yourself into messes. Just stay out of them. Speaking of staying out of it, how about this? Let's get down into this and let's have the drivers do the talking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put the pedal to the metal and crank it up. A lot of pacing now for the drivers as they start to see the wear and tear the cars are dealing with here. Norgard and White, though, they have now put themselves into the ultimate fight out. If you're into Norgard right now, this is not what you want to see or know about. It's the fact that you got a guy that is just patrolling the gap and situating himself up more as he goes. Looking to knock him down a few pegs and knock him down to the top spot. Well, it's not full on 9 or 8 tenths of a second gap difference now between Norgard and White, but I tell you what, it's still a pretty good sizable gap in between there. They're pulling it up right on them today. Burning up the speed now. Here we go. A little run on the outside. Big lead change coming up. White and Norgard head to head, side by side. Both drivers keeping it close and keeping it real. But boy, oh boy, was that looking more and more like maybe White had the slight advantage, and Norgard realizes he may have made a big mistake here. He may have been trying to plan out a strategy to keep the lead away from him, but it didn't quite go that route. And now you see the momentum beginning to shift. And White finally getting it around Norgard. We've got ourselves a new leader. Took a little bit longer than maybe I think some of them were expecting to, but it did end up going in that wake. Corey Abbott hurrying and hustling to get out there to Norgard and White before they start to kind of run away from him a little bit. Halfway done with this race. Anybody's guess here at this point. Still a lot of time on the clock though. Who will take this one home? Find out when we come back live here on P10 Racing TV. Today's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing, your #1 Moza Sim Magic dealer on the market. With the most high quality, proficient chassis to match, there is no better way to get your sim racing fix than with Six Sigma Sim Racing. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here back on the call here. And at the moment, William White still leading the field in. Kerry Brooks slowly kind of closing off the gap again with Ailton Norgard. back in pit road. Like I said before, I'll say it again. I feel like that may have been a miscalculation on his strategy to allow White to kind of seize his opportunity and seize his chance here to really atone and address the speed he has on his display. Let's take a look at our lap times as well here while we got a chance here. I'm liking the way I'm looking this here. Best lap times obviously showing you what was the fastest, what was the best. White, 27.31 is fastest. Ailton Norgard, 27.38, second fastest of the bunch. But then you got guys like Corey Abbott, 27.40. Interesting to note just how much of a difference maker staying consistent has been versus what has been kind of the overall, I'm going to say, power play there, if you will. Is it going to come into effect, and will it take these guys for a bit of a challenge? Will they be able to handle themselves if we get a little too further into this? That's another thing too. You can only drive so hard and make your limits useful and known for so long before eventually you've overdriven your welcome. The car won't go as well as you need it to be, and it ends up costing you dearly. Now Abbott letting White back, Norgard back ahead of him. Knows he had nothing really left to display and use up, but he knew he had to make a drive around him. It's not a whole lot of passing and not a whole lot of side-by-side battles or close corner racing here, guys. Again, this is not that usual kind of footnote of that kind of track. This one's more a little bit more based and predicated around the idea of a long game, long-term fight, long-term ride. Let's see which one of these becomes the best driver. Hardcastle a lap down again to William White here, and again Hardcastle stayed out later than almost every single driver, well, actually than every single driver before he went into pit road, and it really hasn't done him much good. But yet now starting to kind of make amends for that, and he's going to get his lap back. Actually, he's driving hard on William White, and William probably not too thrilled. He's dealing with lap traffic right now, considering he wants to try to keep the gap as far as he can from Norgard, from Abbott, and Brooks. Those are his three Achilles heels, if you will, in this race. But with his speed and overall temptation and power, it's kind of hard to really not root for him here. The Englishman wants a championship, and he wants to finally get it locked up. But just how far will one driver go? How far can they go, actually? You know, what do we always think about the odds and ends, the points of views and stuff they drive at these kind of cars. How far would you go in terms of getting that momentum and trying to get that chance, you know? Norgard right behind White once more. He's going to try and maybe get him a little bit riled up. As you see, Austin Lauder going head-to-head there with Hardcastle. Lauder slowed up again, and Hardcastle with the fresher set of tires, dumping it right up into the spot. Norgard ripping it low. Lauder trying to hang on down there. White sees probably what he probably didn't want to see, which is knowing He's got some tough drivers coming back for him, trying to roll it back on around him. But the good news is for him is that Norgard has to go into pit road at least another time here. Despite the fact he's made 2 pit stops now, his strategy to me just did not quite eclipse what he needed to do. He needed to stay out there a little longer, like terms of what White and them were doing, then make the best of his situation and run it from there. Unless he's just going to get fuel the next time by. I just don't agree with that tire strategy as well as that fuel strategy he came up with. Because that really, in my opinion, hurt him more than his chances were even knowing to be. Hardcastle a little bit loose rolling off turn number 2 there. Probably didn't quite get his time to catch his breath there before that car was already starting to get a little bit wobbly on him, a little loop-sided. Or lopsided, I should say. Gary Brooks right now on the number 777, pushing the speeds up and pushing his limits even harder. 60 laps left to go. Brooks knows he's got a bit of a strategy on his back here. Went on lap number 49 for his pit stop for Corey Abbott on 55, already putting him 7 seconds back. So Brooks right now, in my opinion, needs to be very, very careful when he decides to go back into pit road. If I was him, I'd try to stick it out maybe to about lap 101 or 102 if you can. And then maybe make a run for it here and try and see if Abbott or White blinks. So far, neither driver has given any indication of that. And look at this. Fresher tires there on Abbott. But it's not doing him any good, at least on the laps we've piled in. Let's see what lap 91 brings to the table. No go there. Yeah, right now, if White doesn't make any mistakes, I think honestly this is his race to lose. The question is, can the team and him get the tires and the fuel in there in time, in the chances they get? He's obviously worked hard for this. He's obviously pushed his luck more than anyone else can. A long run and a long show. Definitely making each driver think twice about messing this up. Back into this footnote here and back onto the side of the other side of the track. Right now we see that there is a little bit of a position going on here. Brian Beeman, a little shake of the head, a little bobble of the head as well. He doesn't like the fact that Hardcastle's catching him here for the 5th spot. Hardcastle back there right now looking at his overall speed, temptation, and momentum. Knows he can get something going here if he simply just keeps the power up and forces them to really watch his lines. Hardcastle, though, not able to get anything going there from Beeman's side. Things ladder put right back now in the last place spot. Surprising for the number 14 camp. I was expecting maybe a little bit more speed and momentum out of him. I know obviously this wasn't going to be kind of his race to really go after trying to take down, but I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like he's not quite getting the track dialed in or really any way he needs it to be. Down and out to our final 51 laps this time on by. William White staying out as long as he can go. Corey Abbott, he's going to blink first. Definitely an interesting strategy by the number 21. I don't know if I necessarily agree with going in this early, though, if I'm at 21. But I think maybe he had really little to no choice. And William White now, here we go. His pit stop is engaged. This will give him a 50-lap run left to put up. And just like that, Kerry Brooks now walking on as he'll drive the 777 deep across the field, and now ahead of your race leader. We'll have ourselves a new leader this time on by. William White losing to the 777 of Brooks for just a few laps at least. Now what does Kerry do? Does he go into pit road now, or does he try to wait it out? If I was him, I'd get to pit road sooner rather than later before White built up speed. Or what he could do is he could try to take a no tire zone here and just go for the fuel. Depending on how bad he wore him out, I'd say maybe just even take right sides. Either way, you need fuel here, and Beeman, he's now going in there. Looking on at Beeman right now, just kind of see what his strategy is. Right side's on the car. Fuel run trying to put in there as well. And he's out of the track now. So just like what we've seen earlier, different strategies, different paces, different momentum. Used up. Norgard going 75 laps in now. He's going to have himself a handful. There's no way he's going to be able to get that to last the full fuel run. Brooks, though, staying out a little longer. Continues to kind of stun me a little bit in his strategy. William White desperately trying to cling back to life, build speed up. Beeman, Abbott, Louder, they are now lapped down. If not, maybe even 2 laps down, just depending on where they're at on the track or who they're getting put behind. Beeman rolling through right now. As we go back up there, Hardcastle and William White. Now starting to clear gaps up once more. 1.5 seconds to go. Well, William White definitely make it easier for me in terms of what he needs. I just realized he said must score 36 points to guarantee title win. Race win today, William. That's all yours, buddy. That's at least we'll know who won the championship. Then by that point, Kerry Brooks now entering pit road. Let's see where his strategy plays at. I think it's got to be the hardest part too about pit road, is knowing you have a set speed limit. You have a set time limit. And now you got to get in and out and then hope for the best here. Pulling the car in there, shops up and shopped in, rights and lefts with a 7.7. And he's out. But how much time has he lost out on? Wayne White about 11 seconds back now of Norgard Hardcastle. Falling even further back from him. Yeah, you can just hear how much these cars, man, they have took a beating. They have took a lot of drive off. They are wore up. They are tore out. There is so much they used, and yet a lot they put into it. 36 laps, or excuse me, 36 points separating out the difference. I think right now Norgard was looking for points, race laps led to get some points off him, maybe to force him here. And Norgard, I was calling it earlier, was going to have to find a little strategy to kind of work off from. I didn't think it was the right one, and it's going to force him to pit road. There is the drop, and there is the drive. Coming back from the edges of the race right now, it is anybody's guess. With 11-second lead over Hardcastle, William White is starting to just make this race look like it's going to go in its favor, and down out on the highest of notes. Corey Abbott, Ryan Beeman here, laying back up a little bit. Lap 119 of 150 here, patrolling through. Corey Abbott desperately just trying to stick with it and maybe make something out of it. He's hoping maybe that he'll get a chance, but right now I just don't think it's going to happen. He had a lot of speed loss from his early pit stop, and then his strategy kind of coming without fruition here. I think if he just stayed out a little longer, he may have had a better chance, but I don't know how hard he was burning the fuel. I don't know how hard he was tearing up the equipment. Norgaard, big runoff, jumps it back ahead of White. Is he possibly going to have enough time to catch him? Man, what would it be if he did? Well, there's 30 laps left. It takes a lot of time, though, to get around this track, and it takes a good amount of time to actually build up the speed, get back in it. Hardcastle goes to pit road. Kerry Brooks now went on lap 107. William White, lap 100, a 22-second gap difference. That's a long, long stretch to be working from. And made even worse by the fact of you're just having to try to hold on for whatever you got. Just about 25 laps left to go now. William White looking more and more like this could finally be it. He's made a run for it for so long. Could this be the championship race he was looking for? Kerry Brooks desperately trying to hang in there. He knows he's not out of this yet, but it's just starting to look more and more like it's going to go to him. Ariel Norgaard, though, looking pretty quick here as well. He's building a lot of speed up. I'm actually very impressed here with Norgaard. He'll catch Kerry, but does he have enough time? He's got about a 25-second difference there to catch on William White. I don't think that's quite enough momentum there to really work from it. Time running out. William White knows he's got a lot of drivers coming for him here. Hardcastle trying to get around Norgaard here, but Norgaard knows that if he lets him by, he's going to make it a lot harder for him to make any chances to get to that front. He needs to get the Brooks first. Points on the line, but Norgard knows this championship may be all but lost. Look at trouble though up ahead. Brooks smacking that wall on the right side tires, and the body panel scraping up around it. That certainly did not make it any easier for him to make any moves here. Hardcastle now trying to get there to Brooks. Norgard realizing this could be a travel zone for him. But without that extra speed and that extra liftoff, it makes it just a little bit more difficult to kind of find it. Brooks backing off and gives Norgard a chance now. Beeman right up ahead. He's all over the place, getting out of Abbott's way. Beeman trying to jump in right onto the march here, and he does successfully, but now it's Norgard's turn. Watch smoother entry entering in the turn number 1 into 2. Now through from past the dog's leg. Now looking to get a grip on the race. Norgard has about a 23-second gap to have to come back from. I've seen crazier gaps done before, but this is honestly a very bad timing move here. 20 laps, now 18 laps to go, I should say, excuse me. William White is just on cruise control. The crazy thing is, he timed his moves, he timed his strategy out perfectly. Started second, but came off the line, fought hard with Norgard for a minute. Then what he did is he just kind of patiently ticked off the right marks and ticked off the right bars. And then from there, well, as they always say, you just make a run for it. Fourteen laps now left on this track here, and man, this has been a race I don't think these guys were expecting to come out to and have to take on with, but it has happened. And some heavy hitters like Abbott, even in Beeman, fell laps down in the process. Norgard fell a lap or two down as well. And you know, now thinking about it as well, I think about it a bit, as much as I would hate to admit it. But I'm thinking Norgard was believing he couldn't win this race just off of pure strategy. So he was going to try to win this race off of pure speed. Now, I'm not saying for 1 second that was a bad idea by any means. Far from it. But the thing is, William has just been so consistent and so smooth. I almost kind of wonder why Norgard didn't think maybe to go with that plan, to go with that mindset. Austin Lauder, by the way, out of this race. He has parked the car in for the night. He is done. Unfortunately, a tough break there for him. Brian Beeman right now currently just trying to, at this point, he's just trying to put laps down. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He's just putting laps down, just kind of engaging on the track here. Probably just looking to get himself another possibility, another chance or opportunity in another race. Another season, perhaps. Maybe he can finally get some unthinkables done and get himself a win. Maybe even get himself a championship. That way, talented driver and talented guy. Certainly want to keep your eye on out there eventually in due time. 10 laps to go. Top 5 on your screen. Despite the lack of cars, there has been plenty of passing at least in between sessions between the cars here. Mainly lap traffic ordeals or just lap cut passes to get back in it, but when they do get them up to it, it certainly makes a difference. Take a look at our lap timing sheets. And William, despite the fact that he's on more burned up tires than Norgard is, he's been pretty much just rolling these corners and rolling the times off more as he goes. Norgard hasn't been able to get it done here, and I think that's been his biggest problem. Because he just overthought what he could do, and you can see only 0.2 of a second gain. That's not going to get you anywhere here. If a caution flag pops out, obviously William will have his hands full, but I just do not think by any means the imagination that's going to even happen. Although I really hope that I say that didn't just give us the old broadcaster curse, because then I will never ever hear the end of this one. Six laps about to turn to 5 laps to go. William White looking for the coup de grace if it were the final piece of the puzzle. The one thing he's looked so long for was a race win. You got that out of the way. Now, in what I could best describe as one of the most chaotic seasons we've ever seen, is he finally going to be able to do it and punch his championship name into the short year span that we have seen of Six Sigma Sim Racing Oval League? Of course, the Road Course League as well, another feature to really watch out for and go race out there if you guys can. Certainly recommend it. It's certainly an interesting little time and a lot of battles and stuff going down there on the track. William White right now got about 2 laps to go as he's going to bring it across the straightaway, and the straight lined it off from the backstretch now to turn number 4. 2 to go. Green flag in the air. William White. What did he say? Only needed like 36, 39 points. Secure the championship. I think this will all but do it. Norgard, credit where credit's due. He tried something different. He tried a different kind of plan. It's not going to work this time. It'll backfire on him. 1 down through turn number 3 and turn number 4. 2 wins this season. Now looking to make it 3 and a championship to go with it. 1 more lap to go for the number 43. All this time, energy and work has come to this point. But he knows, he's seen what happened before on this broadcast. He can't get too cocky and arrogant until that checker comes. Down to number 3. for heading for home. William White will take it back home across the pond. And will this be enough? The championship goes to William White. Will this be enough for the championship to go to William White? The driver out of London, England, putting up a performance not to be outdone by some of our best drivers we've ever seen here on Pizza Racing TV. Absolutely stunning performance. What a unique blend of raw display and power these drivers, these individuals came up with. Hey, that's an Norgard, man. Credit where credit's due. He tried so hard. Oh, he had to hit old Corey Abbott down there for a little love tap. Well, we'll take it to the skies real quick here and show you our results. William White, the winner. Will he claim the championship? We're going to calculate the numbers up in a minute. Alan Norgard second. Gary Brooks third. Andrew Hardcastle fourth. Corey Abbott fifth. Brian Beeman sixth. Austin Lauder seventh to round out the night. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is time to listen to our drivers now. Coming away in third place today here, the number 777, Kerry Brooks. And Kerry, long road for you, good sir, in a tight little battle there from point A to point B. You know, you came away with a race win there on the road course, but definitely looked like you may have had a chance in the oval if had strategies played out a little differently.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, I think William had pace on everybody just overall. He was fantastic. Leighton obviously tried to do something a little bit different. He needed to lead a whole bunch more laps and win the race, I think, from a championship perspective. Man, I was just I've got a lot of beef with Phoenix over the years, so I really just wanted to go out and run a clean race, which didn't quite happen. I think I had 2x, but a lot of fun.
A lot of fun indeed, and a lot going down for you and this team here. I know, obviously, it was a long, long road for you, obviously, if you're struggling around this kind of surface, but I mean, for you and this team, I mean, could you be any more happier for this season, or do you feel like you wanted a little bit more out of it?
You know what? This overlapped with another series that I was also focusing on. So, you know, for the time that I was able to put into this, it was awesome. But you know what? Like, this entire group is always a treat to run with. Every one of them. I just had such a blast. Same with the other league we've got running, the road league. I mean, just an awesome group of people. Thank you to Ben, obviously, for putting together from a race control perspective. And thank you to you, Chris, at PTM Racing TV for everything that you guys do.
For sure there. Well, Kerry, man, been a pleasure to have you guys on board. Congratulations coming on home for second or third place today.
Thank you, my man.
Gary Brooks, ladies and gentlemen. Well, right now, we do know our second place finisher is the number 12, Alenton Norgard. I believe the way the points are looking right now, he may not have let enough laps there to take down William White, so I think that the 43 may have claimed the championship. We're still waiting for confirmation on that, but I think it is enough at least, as he is currently parked down there. We're getting our friend Benjamin right now on the call here. Benjamin, what is the word down there, sir?
Oh, the word is wonderful. It was a heck of a season, man.
It certainly was indeed. Obviously a lot of hard racing, a lot of hard battling down there. Kind of crazy to believe, huh?
It is. We had some smaller numbers towards the end of the season for sure, but it never ceases to stop providing awesome entertainment. These guys are just fantastic sim racers, so it's always a lot of fun to see them get out here and do amazing things tonight, just like they did. So another no caution race too. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely indeed. Well, our race winner William White is with us now. Do you have any words for him maybe you want to share?
Oh yeah, no, I congratulations, William. Sorry, I'm trying to get the points in case you guys wanted to see those, but yeah, man, just another awesome race, another notch in the belt. How many wins is that this season now, William? Help me count, because I don't know.
That is number 4.
Number
Oh my
4.
gosh.
I said 3, so
Whew.
Yeah. I
Crazy,
think
dude.
the one you didn't broadcast Vegas, did you? So yeah, that was number 3.
Ah, that explains it. All right, so William, real quick, we did get Ailinson here real quick. So before we get with you, bud, we'll get to Ailinson. So Ailinson, second place here today, bud. I know that was a bit of an interesting strategy you were doing on there, as I saw on the broadcast. I got to ask you though. I mean, you went very early into pit road, then you just kind of kept going earlier and earlier. I thought honestly it was more of a speed boost thing than anything to try to see if you can kind of outpower this track. Was that kind of the game plan, or what was going on down there for the team?
So what happened was during practice at one point, my overlay had said that a stint was 45 laps. So I was thinking it was going to be a lot shorter than it was, and I was going to try and run an extra or split it evenly. And then when I saw that I had only done half a stint instead of 2/3, I figured I had probably screwed myself out of the win. So I was just running a extra stop to see what it would do. Still worked out for a second, which was about as good as I could hope for. I knew that Will was going to be too fast to make up a whole lap after an extra stop. So yeah, it is what it is. It was a fun race though. Good experiment.
I mean, if you could have did anything differently, I'm presuming probably that taking that overlay system and double checking it probably been the biggest thing for you, I'm presuming.
Yeah, just looking at it in the actual race to make sure the stint length was what I thought it was. I still would have pit earlier than Will did. I wanted to get the undercut and try and get back in front of him, but yeah, not by nearly as much as I did.
Well, I may have undercut on the fuel, but you didn't underdeliver in terms of your performance this season. Who do you want to thank as you round this one out today?
Just the whole group at Abbott Motorsports, Corey, Will, Andrew, Jimmy when he's around. A lot of fun racing with those guys.
For sure there. Ailinson, it's been a pleasure to have you on board. Congratulations on a second place finish today.
Thanks.
All right, Ailinson Norgard, ladies and gentlemen, and William White now back once more here. William, I know Ben is still figuring things out right now, but man, you had a heck of a season, walking away with 4 wins, and literally the last race of the season. I mean, this was certainly something you guys have been working hard for, and you've been looking really to get, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, coming into the season, I knew I'd have a good bit of momentum after the special event at North Wilkesboro, and I know that I'm decent in the ARCA car and the Gen 4 car, so I knew that I'd be a contender. But it feels great to go from being completely winless in the first 2 seasons and running pretty terribly to now coming into this season, winning the opener, and then at the end of it taking the crown. It does feel pretty good.
Does you pretty good. Does you quite a bit for everything you worked for and you fought for. I mean, all in all, William, I mean, you had 2 in your mind horrible seasons of bad luck. This finally now all culminates into this one. I mean, was this really what you've been looking for so long in this case?
It's what I've been looking for since the league started back in November. Because I've raced against the guys, Leighton, Corey, Jimmy, and that, and I know I'm just as quick as them on my day. So when I'm not contending with them in the first 2 seasons, I'm like, really, I know I'm better than this. So now, 3rd season, I've finally gotten my act together and delivered the performances that I know I'm capable of, and I've gotten rewarded for it. So yeah.
You certainly have been rewarded indeed, good sir. As you claim the championship out, I have to ask you once last time, who do you want to thank you for everything?
Well, so yeah, all the guys at Abbott Motorsports, so Leighton, Corey, Andrew, and Jimmy. Obviously, you guys for putting on the broadcast, Ben and Kerry behind the scenes, do a lot of cool work to make this league what it is, which is a lot of fun. And all the drivers who have raced this season, putting on some fantastic shows for everyone watching, and we have had some good hard battles out there throughout the field from first to last. It's been a lot of fun.
It certainly was indeed. William, you were coming from the bottom this season. You traveled to the top. Congratulations, finally getting it done.
Thank you.
William White, ladies and gentlemen, your season champion has been crowned. What a race, what a season it's been, and quite a long road it was indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much to our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing, #1 Mulza and Sim Magic dealer on the market with the finest quality sim racing rigs to match. Be sure to visit them up at SixSigmaSimRacing.com for more information. As we sign off today, thank you all so much for watching here on this Wednesday night call. We'll have more calls to come in the future. Until then, though, it's been a pleasure. Six Sigma Sim Racing Oval League. Have a good one, and we'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies.